vs. Capcom 3.
You need it.
Hey Seth, how's it going, man? Angry Joe. As I was telling you earlier, we probably got the biggest critic.
I can't believe this. It's not okay. Stop it.
Of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and the biggest fan, James. James behind the camera. So I wanted to ask you a few community questions about the game. So why did Capcom choose to release another version of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 barely 5 months after the original's release?
Well, it's not 5 months after by the time it comes out, but the announcement came very fast. So basically, the team wasn't that happy about it either because they wanted a little bit more break between games. So, but the real answer is sort of a complicated and not that exciting answer, but it has to do with basically both Capcom's own release schedule and Marvel's own release schedule. So we've got other Capcom fighting games coming out that are already scheduled and locked. Marvel also has a lot of licenses and other games, movies, things like that they're dealing with in terms of licenses and what possible window the game could come out in. So for us, it was either now or wait a long, long time.
So it didn't have to do anything with the tsunami that happened in Japan, which was a tragedy. That didn't affect scheduling in any way?
That affected a lot of things over in Japan. So a lot of people individually, Capcom was not hit in a direct way. Like we had some cracks in the office building. They had power outages, so we had to send people home for a little while, in and out like that. But overall, there were a lot of larger concerns as well as individual things going on as far as Capcom missing a few weeks of work and things like that. But overall, I think corporate planning, when you got Capcom and you got Marvel together, it was either do it now or potentially wait a long, long time. And
a little longer, you can add a few more things. Is this the new life cycle of fighter games that we can expect from Capcom?
Again, this was sort of a one-off. So if we had our druthers, we might have waited a little longer just because we like to let things breathe a little bit. You know, it's like a fine wine or whatever. But you want to let people get all the way into it. But that's part of the actual approach to Ultimate Marvel in terms of the balancing and the re-looking at it, is to try and respect what people have done with the game so far. The investment they've put in, we think is going to build in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So it's not like a reset or like everything you did doesn't make sense anymore. It's no good. So we think it's going to really be sort of an evolution on top of what they've already learned.
So can original Marvel vs. Capcom 3 players play with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
We're not that good at the internet, unfortunately, so no. Yeah.
So do you feel that the release is going to split the community?
I actually don't think so. So I understand where people are coming from with the game is out too soon, but at the same time, there's sort of a tension in that position, right? Because it's like, I love this game, Marvel 3, so much. I want more time to play it without another version coming out, but honestly, like the stuff in Ultimate Marvel is more of the same great stuff that you liked in Marvel 3. So in one sense, I understand people wanting to wait a little longer. In another sense, you're getting more of something that you liked before if you were a big fan. And if you didn't play Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you're getting a really great deal because you get the whole package with more new characters and all that stuff for $40.
Why did you decide to go to a retail disc? So now, original owners of the original game don't get the rebalancing. You're not going to support the original with, any rebalancing tweaks. It's all on the new version?
Yeah, that's true. So the whole disc-based thing is something that Capcom's sort of getting the hang of. That's always been the way they've done it in Japan, so we are a Japanese company. This is a very established model over there. So you'll see us taking different approaches on different games. So some of our games get a little more DLC, a little bit more online in the balancing.
That's why I'm upset because, Super Street Fighter 4, they already had Spectator Mode, they add Tournament Mode, they add a bunch of additional modes. So far, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 only has Spectator Mode, a mode that we were promised as DLC for free. Is that the only additional mode that is going to be included in Ultimate?
We do have some other modes that we're not talking about just yet, but there will be a little more stuff coming on the Ultimate Marvel vs.
I'm very glad to hear that. A lot of people said, well, Joe, don't overreact. Maybe there's some other modes that you haven't heard of, because I've been essentially calling it basically a character expansion. If you look at it as a character expansion, it's a little bit easier to accept, because if you look at how many characters you release, it's a relatively good deal.
Yeah, actually, I think, I don't want to oversell the modes and things like that, because fighting games at the end of the day are a versus game. So it is really, I think, a character expansion. It's got a lot of other fun stuff and things people have been asking for, but yeah, the characters are really the reason for the season.
Exactly, but my problem with this release is how it leaves the original people in the dust, and I just don't think that's really the way to handle. I think it's going to piss off a lot more people than it
Yeah, well, we definitely know the reaction. So again, you know, the Street Fighter team has taken one approach. Marvel team has taken another approach. We're hearing the feedback. We know people are not happy with the approach in total, but we know people are also excited about the content. So hopefully that's where the conversation will stay. Once people get their hands on, hopefully your guy over here got a chance to go hands on and is having actually a good time with the game.
He is having a good time with it, but I just wanted you to know that there are a segment of us is really upset with this decision, and that, you know, hopefully based upon your interview, and you said there are more modes coming yet unannounced, will help us to make a better buying decision.
Yeah.
So thank you for taking the time to speak with me.
It's my pleasure, and we know, I live on the internet too. I know the reactions. I know where people are coming from, but at the end of the day,
I mean, I was really pissed off, dude. If you go on my video right now, it's like this huge angry rant.
That's your
my immediate, honest reaction.
That's your job. It's easier for me because I'm playing the game and I know the actual characters in the game is really fun. So
I just expect a little bit more from my expansions. If the Super Street Fighter Crowd 4 got this and that, you know, I kind of want at least bare minimum that.
The different teams, they fight all the time. They go competition like that. So maybe this round of the Super Street Fighter team, but gameplay-wise, I think Ultimate Marvel is going to really deliver.
All right, you heard it here. My man Seth taking the opportunity to talk real talk with us. All right, man. I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show.